Hey guys, what's up? This is SS99 here with another deck profile, and I'll be doing my personal favorite, which is Blackwings. Blackwings are amazing. I run these in tournaments in real life, and I always top. Always. It's a really cool deck, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started, and then I'll just do what I usually do. I'll go straight down the list and just name all the cards, and then we'll cut to the chase, and I'll name some strategies. So anyway, we got 2 Sirocco the Dawn, 3 Sure the Blue Flame, 3 Bora the Spear, 1 Zephyros the Elite, 1 Kalut the Moonshadow, 1 Gale the Whirlwind, 3 Blizzard the Far North, 1 Vayu the Emblem of Honor, and 1 Dark Armed Dragon. For your spells, you got 3 Black Whirlwind, 3 Pot of Duality, 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, 1 Book of Moon, 1 Allure of Darkness, 1 Delta Crow Anti-Reverse, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Compulsory Evacuation Device, 1 Solemn Warning, 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, 1 Torrential Tribute, 2 Fiendish Chain, and 3 Icarus Attack. For your extra deck, you got, for the Blackwing Synchros, you got Silverwind the Ascendant, 2 Armor Master, and 2 Armwing. And for your other Synchros, you got Ally of Justice Cadister, TG Hyper Librarian, Gaia Knight the Force of Earth, and your staples, which are Black Rose Dragon, Stardust Dragon, Crimson Blader, and Scrap Dragon. For your Xyz, you got My Stroke the Symphony Djinn, Gal Gal Cowboy, and Ice Beast Zerathon. Side deck, you got Blackwing, Breeze the Zephyr, 2 Effect Veilers, 2 Maxis, 1 Venus Chain, 2 Light Imprisoning Mirrors, 2 Royal Decrees, 2 Mind Drains, and 2 Vanity's Emptiness. And that's the deck. Now, you only want to run like 2 Siroccos because 3's dead. I mean, he's a 5-star beat stick that helps. I'm sorry, I gotta get comfortable. He helps your Blackwings get stronger, and he can be summoned if your opponent controls a monster and you don't. And of course, Sure the Blue Flame. You want to run him because, like, whenever he destroys a monster in battle, you can special summon a Blackwing who's 15 attack points or 1500 or less, but its effects are negated. What I usually do is I use him, and I go into Vayu, because I'll go ahead and go into Vayu. If he's on the field, he can't be used as a Synchro Summon. But if he's in your graveyard, you can banish him and another Blackwing to special summon a Synchro Blackwing monster of that same level. That's equal to Vayu's and the banished Blackwing. But if you summon with Sure, his effect will be negated. So you can Synchro Summon for either TG Hyper Librarian or Ally of Justice Cadister, which are... I usually go into Ally of Justice Cadister, but there have been a few occasions where I go into TG Hyper Librarian. Anyway, of course, you gotta run Bora, because you can special summon him if you control Blackwing, which odds are you're going to. And he does piercing battle damage. Zephyros, he goes back to your hand just by adding a card on your side of the field to your hand, but you take 400. Kalut is the honest of the deck. You just discard it, and more power to the Blackwings. Gale, he's a power slicer. He just cuts any monster's attack points in half permanently. It's not until the end of turn. It's permanent. And plus, he's a level 3 tuner. I usually do a combo with like Sirocco and Bora and Gale. Like if I have Gale, I very rarely Synchro Summon with Gale unless I'm in a tight situation. I always love to use Gale as long as I got trap cards on the field. If I don't have trap cards on the field, then yeah, I Synchro Summon with Gale. Of course, you gotta run 3 Blizzards. I know people generally run 2, but I like 3 because it's more consistent with the Synchro Summon, and 3 has not let me down. It's never been dead, in my opinion, so yeah, and I've already explained Vayu. Dark Armed Dragon, you run a dark deck, that enough said. 3 Black Whirlwind, well, it adds cards to your hand, obviously. And generally what I do is I just stack up on Kaluts, as long as I got enough Blackwings to do so. Like, if I start off with just 1 Shura, then odds are I'm probably going to go into Zephyros. That way I can activate Whirlwind's effect again. Anyway, Pot of Duality is just to search out for Black Whirlwind. Mystical Space Typhoon, well, you gotta run it. It's Mystical Space Typhoon. Book of Moon's a trap card, but in the spell card version, Allure of Darkness is just another way to get around your deck for Black Whirlwind. And plus, it's really useful if you have like plenty of Blackwings in your graveyard already. You can just ditch Dark Arm Dragon that you cannot ever use and just draw 2 cards. And of course, you gotta run Delta Crow Anti-Reverse because it's a Heavy Storm on crack. And if any of you guys own this in real life and you're willing to sell it, leave me in the comment, or tell me in the comments below, or leave me a message and we'll make a deal, because that's the only card I'm missing from my main deck. 1 Mirror Force. Well, your staples are Mirror Force, Compulsory Evacuation Device, Soul Morning, yeah, Bottomless Trap Hole, and Torrential Tribute. These are pretty much your staples. You got to run them. Fiendish Chain. It's not a staple, but it comes in handy. But you only really need 2 in the main deck, in my opinion, and then 1 in the side deck, just in case. And of course, your Icarus attacks. This helps get rid of your dead Blackwings that are not too useful. Like, for example, if you had drew a value in your hand in the first turn and then you draw into this, there's a good way to send value to the graveyard already. Anyway, now you got for the Blackwings. If I synchro summon on the field, I never synchro summon into this. I always use Value's effect if Armor Master's in my graveyard to special summon this guy just for a 2800 beat stick. Plus, I had extra space in my synchro summon area, and I needed to put something in there anyway. And Armor Master, he's your protector. You cannot be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle damage. And he's like Gale, only he reduces the attack points to 0 instead of half. So, yeah, pretty cool. And of course, Armwing, he's awesome. He's like Bora, only stronger. Cataster's your staple. TG Hyper Librarian, he's there for, again, to help draw cards, because you do a lot of synchro summoning with this deck. Of course, Gaia, he's a 2600 beat stick. He's like a really easy level 6 synchro to get into. If like your opponent has like a Stardust Dragon or something that you want to get rid of, just go for that. And of course, your other staples: Black Rose Dragon, Stardust Dragon, Crimson Blader, Scrap Dragon. Yeah, I don't need to describe those again. And for the XEs, this right here is like your wind-up Zen Mines, but only a rank 4 version. Maestroke is awesome. This is the only card I'm missing from my extra deck in real life. So again, if you guys have one that you're willing to sell, comment, leave me a message. Yeah. Gaga Cowboy, he's the guy that helps you finish the job if your Blackwings don't. And plus he also helps you get around Ophion, if for some reason Ophion's a problem. I've never had a problem with Evil Swarms with this deck. And of course, Ice Beam Beast Zephyron, he negates the effect of everything on the field, and he gets attack points equal to the number of face-up cards on the field. And of course, you got Blackwing, Breeze of Zephyr. She's only in here just because she's an amazing card, but I don't think she's main deck worthy, in my opinion, because you want to run a 40-card deck, and you have to run everything in here, and you really don't have to run her in the main deck, but she's really good for a side deck. Like if something's useless, for example, like if someone doesn't run back row, you can just get rid of all your MSTs and your Delta Crow, and you can just side in these two. It really comes in handy. Like if you have a Black Whirlwind in your hand, I've had this happen many times. Like you have a Black Whirlwind and a Blizzard of Far North in your hand, and then the rest of the cards in your hand are traps. It just gives you another option for the Black Whirlwind, because right now the only option you have with Blizzard is value, and you don't want to add them to your hand. Like I always want to use Sure's effect to get value in the graveyard. And of course, 2 Effect Veiler, 2 Maxes, those, like I said, I always run them in the side deck. If you want them to run them in the main deck, you go ahead and do what you want to do, but that's what I want to do. Of course, the 3rd Fiendish Chain, just in case. Light Imprisoning Mirror, I've put this in the deck mainly for Constellars, because Constellars are like the only deck that I have not beaten with this deck. Like I've beaten Chaos Dragons, I've beaten Boojins, Mermels, Harpies, you name it. I've beaten them all. except Constellars, and I don't know why. So next time I go up against Constellars, this will be waiting for them because I've just installed this because it just came to my mind right before I made the deck profile. And of course, it'd also be helpful against Boojins too, which aren't really a big problem for this deck. But anyway, of course, you gotta excuse me, you gotta run 2 Royal Decree just in case. There's a deck. There are decks out there that run nothing but trap cards. I've actually bumped into a few that have actually beaten me too. So Royal Decree's there for a good reason. If you want to sign in Royal Decree, go ahead and sign out some of your trap cards and put some of this stuff in here too. Because, I mean, you want to keep a few traps in there, but you don't want to, like, you know, just put Royal Decree in there and have all these traps, because that'll make, like, nearly a third of your deck useless. And then you got Mind Drain for hand traps and Vanity's Emptiness for everything else, pretty much, because special summoning is the thing today. And that is Blackwings, my favorite deck, in my opinion. And yeah, thanks for watching. Other decks that I'll be doing later, I'm pretty much just I mean, I know I've done like 3 today, but I'm pretty much done for today. I'll do the rest tomorrow, but if you are people who actually care, I'm going to be doing my version of Destiny Heroes, Disaster Dragon that I've made just for fun, Drag Unities, Elemental Heroes, Harpies, Heretic Dragons, and Mythic Dragon Rulers. Yeah, in case you haven't noticed, I have a weird obsession with dragons in general. I just love them. Alrighty, so that is the deck profile. And peace.